hosting a women's panel here today. The women of CET through the decades. That's the theme of our panel discussion. We have a representative who is a graduate of CET from different decades, starting all the way from 60s to the late 2000s. We are in this current decade. So we'll have a fun, engaging, interactive discussion with these very powerful, capable, high-achieving women. I have the great honor of being one of the moderators for today. My name is Aparna. I'm 2003 electrical batch. I work in marketing for Barclays, and my co-moderator.
Hi, I'm Swaathi Joseph. I'm 1998 architecture batch. Currently, I'm working in Cambridge Planning Department. So now we're going to have the panelists join us. If you can come to the stage, we'll start introducing you.
With us today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves so you get to know about their background, and then we kick off with the engaging discussions.
Hello, I am Komalavalli Amma. I am from the 1968 Civil Engineering branch of CET, and I was with the Irrigation Department of Government of Kerala. From assistant engineer, I rose up to the position of the chief engineer, and I retired in 2002. Since then, I am working with the colleges in the academic side as principal, professor, like that. And even now, I am with some of the expert committees of the Government of Kerala. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Latha, Dhananjayan, 1978 Electronics and Communications. I started my career as a teacher at NSS Engineering College, then traveled over the world some, and I landed here in 1987, did some continuing education, worked for AT&T for several years, and then I moved on to the defense sector. I've been a federal contractor for DoD and DHS since 2000, and I'm still working.
Hi, my name is Latha, Hariharan, and I'm from the 1989 Electrical and Electronics batch. My background, I've been in technology services for many years, and then now I'm the founder and CEO of a market research firm. It's a boutique market intelligence firm called Resource Leaders, and I've worked in many industries with resource leaders. I've also started a non-profit women's organization which focuses on Indian American professional women, and we focus on networking, mentoring, and bringing leadership, bringing these women to be great leaders. So that's an organization that I'm deeply passionate about. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Malini Nair. I'm 1997 Civil Engineering graduate. I came to US in 1998 after my marriage. I worked in the information technology for around 10 years. And from 2010, I'm running a dance school, Aparna Dance Academy in New Jersey. Right now, it's keeping me busy full time. Thank you.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരമുണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ പേര് ആം. ഞാൻ 2003 കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ സയൻസ് ബാച്ചാണ്. I was with a firm called Cognizant for a long time, and then I was with Merck Pharmaceuticals, New Jersey pharma sector for 6-7 years. And then I took a break. I went to India for 3 years. അവിടെ ഞാൻ Dr. Tharoor, Shashi Tharoor's MP of Trivandrum. So I worked with him for some time as an advisor to the MP. And there I did some social work. I worked with a lot of women empowerment, girl children education, waste management, Trivandrum, a lot of issues that I touched upon while I was there. and I'm back in the US and I'm pursuing my MBA right now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sminu Sudhakran, 2007-2012 architecture batch. I came here to US to do my master's in urban design in St. Louis. Now I'm working here for a developer as an architect. So far so good. Thank you.
Alright, so all of us women, we feel that we are so much part and parcel of CET, and CET is a part of us. The first question I want to toss to the panelists is to start with Komala ma'am. If you could tell us how inclusive was the culture of the college back in the 60s and the 70s when you were there, and some of your thoughts during that time being a woman in the campus.
At the time when I joined engineering college, to tell you frankly, I was the only lady student in that batch. Not that I was not the only student, but in the first batch it came. It so happened that I am put in a batch of 60, 80 boys and myself, a tiny girl. Now I have studied up to that only in the government women's college and girls' school, and never I have talked with a boy of my age. No, it was that at that time it was like that. No, when I entered the class, all these boys, none of them were talking to me. One or two of my batchmates are here. They were not talking to me because if they talk to me and they will be called some other name, and with my name they will be known. So I was kept separate. But let me take you a little bit ahead. When the engineering college started in 1939, at that time there were no women allowed to enter the engineering college. At that time, in the very same year, first year, one lady, very qualified, she wanted to get admission, and she went to the engineering college office at PMG to get an admission form. But she was denied. Application form was even not given to her, telling that it's a lady. So she was not admitted. And then after a decade, another lady came, volunteered, and she was also qualified. She was also denied. But she went to Tamil Nadu and got admission. And the first one who could get admission was Professor Gomadi, all of you may be knowing. And in my time, after Professor Gomadi joined in 1957, and I joined a couple of years later. At that time, few girls were there, but we were never accepted at that time. But gradually, when they took us with their fold, and we feel more privileged that we are also being considered. That was the situation at that time, the environment of the college.
Thank you for that insight. So about 20 years later, let's see how things were when it came to Latha ma'am's time.
10 years.
10 years later.
Well, my entry was not so dramatic as Komala Chichi's. When I started college, there were a few women around, but I happened to be the only one in electronics for the first week. And I found myself getting lost on campus all the time, and people would fool me and tell me the way to the men's hostel and things like that. But fortunately for me, after a few days, 3 more ladies joined electronics. So the three ladies from the ladies' hostel, we would get lost together. But we managed. The one thing, like she said, those days, boys and girls were not allowed to talk to each other. That was a no-no. And over the 4 years that I spent in Trivandrum Engineering College, there were about 15 boys who never spoke to us at all. Things are different now, but I think that's about all I have to say.
So let's check out if things are really different now, right? We're going to break the pattern here and jump right to Sminu, who graduated just 6 years back. So why don't you tell us if things are really different now or not?
Things are definitely different from what they had experienced. We definitely had a lot of girls in the college taking part in most of the activities in this college, in the union. But still there was this weird atmosphere in the college. We like 12th, first time you're in this place where it's a different world for you. And then architecture girls. There was a thing for archi girls. I had no idea what that was. It's still there. I just don't understand what that is. Wait, archi girls? Okay, fine. Like you say, inclusivity. SFI day group, I think class representative just because they wanted a girl in the group, they were like, please, you know, so I think we thought it was normal. Like, okay, this is what we've been taught and this is what's going to happen. But obviously not as worse as how it was before. Ragging in a pairlum. Correct at night because we're coming from Kerala. So that's about what I had.
Why don't we toss it over to Anne? I know you have some very strong opinions about that as well. So let Anne also share her opinion from the early 2000s.
So in 2003, when I joined computer science, class, it was 48 boys and 12 girls. So the ratio is almost 1:4. I don't think things were much, so there's been a gradation, right? Young experience, we didn't have problems talking to guys. St. Thomas has been in existence for some time. Mixed colleges on the Marivanas. I came from a mixed college, so I didn't have any issues talking to guys at all. And I was very comfortable with, I grew up in Holy Angels. So I was very fluent in English. I class good morning, English. So this was from day one onwards, and I kind of, you just brush it off and go on with your life. There are certain things which were, now looking back, I don't know if it was so great, because the engineering mechanics is a branch of S1, we have a paper, right? Jeans are mandatory. Jeans. Jeans first week we had to do that. We came back, entire class we heard whistles all the time. And all of us were like, why we? Because it's not a choice, it's mandatory, it's part of the uniform. And it's not even tight jeans, loose, baggy, so of course, we didn't talk about it then as gender discrimination. We never talked about it or discussed or sought means to, kind of set off all that. We just went on. I think all those adversities kind of gave us grit. It strengthened us and it made us the confident people that we are now. We have no issues. I think that environment. So I think the Trivandrum is essentially Kerala culture. It is male dominated. Women are supposed to fill certain roles. That gender thing is there. It's a very patriarchal society. I think that carries on to it's the same guys, right? It's boys from those patriarchal households which come to the college also. So the classroom was a reflection of what the society was. Younger classes, so the 12 to 48 ratio I think was representative of IT. If I walk into a conference room, I'll probably be the only woman there, or probably one other woman would be there. So I think it has strengthened me, whatever
Definitely.
Challenges.
Yep. So Anne made a good point about what is in the society reflects on what we see here, right? Which is absolutely true. But at the same time, I also personally believe that being a woman, you do get a lot of privileges which if you want, you can use to your advantage. You have a lot of contradictions or hurdles also that you have to cross because of you're a woman. So I'm going to go to both Latha, Hariharan and Malini because they have both established their own companies, their own institutions, and they have broken the ceiling for their own sake, so to speak. So let's ask if being woman has been a privilege or a hurdle or a combination of both, and how did they deal with those situations?
So
So if you compare US to India, I think that's what you're also referring to. People have to remember that even in the US, women could not vote until the women's suffragette movement. And also, we have not had a woman president at all in US. On the other hand, India has had a woman prime minister. There's been a lot of women equality. And the other thing is, big thing is that the family structure in India supports women to a strong degree. And women, like in Kerala, women have been working even from our grandmother's ages and things like that. So if you look at that, there is a lot of support for women from India. However, what is not there, and which is a lot more stronger in America, is the entrepreneurial spirit and the volunteering spirit, the entrepreneurial spirit. Those two aspects are coming up in India, but they are much more prevalent in America, and which really helped, for me and other people or my peers to start organizations. I think those are the positives from the two countries. Well, you can continue.
Hi. Definitely CET made me stronger. Karanam 90s batch ആയിരിക്കും maximum ragging involved with the CET era nu njan parayum. So that made me stronger because our principals, Dr. Malini was also the same batch as me. Appo eppozhum principal ന്റെ മകൾ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് റാഗ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എപ്പോഴും എന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും. So like the first year itself I was seasoned. So it was good. So after coming here also, I think that boosted my ego, and I always wanted to pursue my passion, dance, but my dad was not very sure, so he wanted me to become an engineer and teach in an engineering college. So like once I came here, I had as you said, it's like a free country. I had the privilege to follow my passion. So, but definitely the engineering college and the environment made me stronger. It's still a lot of sexism going on in the college from the time Komalavalli joined till you joined, and I think it will stay the same because we are in Trivandrum, God's own country. So that is not going to change. But that will definitely make all the women stronger. That's my belief. Thank you.
That's a very interesting insight that CET has made us all strong women, stronger than what we would have been otherwise. That brings me to my next question. I'm going to start from this side and go all the way around, asking, how has CET changed you? What contributions has CET done to you personally in your career, personal life, and ahead?
My experience with this college, I have already told you, that has given me some sort of confidence, courage, and I was ready to face any sort of situations. When I joined the department after engineering, I joined irrigation department, and at that time, no lady engineer will prefer to go to the field. Most of them will be willing to sit in the office and do some sort of design or something like that. I was also no exception to that, but somehow I was forced to go to the field, and from then, throughout my service, I was working in the field. So lots and lots of unique experiences, thrilling experiences rather. Late night also I was supposed to go to the field, and I was caroused at 12 o'clock in the night in the canal side, and such thrilling experiences I had. But the courage which I got, the advices my professors they have given in the college, that instilled me this courage, and I could very well come up in the department as one of the good, rather not best, good engineer in the department. And all my experiences, even my juniors, they used to tell me, why don't you write down the experiences? All are very unique experiences I have got, and there's no time, otherwise I would have told at least 2-3 experiences, and these things only a field engineer, that to a lady, will be experiencing. And definitely CET is the base, and what I got from the college helped me a lot in this field. Thank you.
Like everybody in this panel has already said, CET has given me a lot of strength For me, coming from northern Kerala, from Kannur to Trivandrum, traveling itself in those days was a big chore because there was no direct train from Kannur to Trivandrum. I had to change trains at Cochin because the meter gauge and broad gauge business. And then I had to change 3 trains. But I think because I was in CETA, in CET, I had the courage to travel all by myself and change trains at the young age of 19, 20. And I also think CETA, being at CET, gave me a discipline towards studies. Since coming to this country, I pursued several degrees, and I think that whatever foundation I had there gave me the strength to do classes while working full time with children and also going to school. Thank you.
So I had some of the train incidents were similar because I had to travel to Goa, and at that time there was no direct train, and I had to like take a train to Mangalapuram, then take a 7-hour bus journey to go to Goa to my parents. So that probably was a bit similar. Obviously the academics and all, made me feel, it gave me a work ethic. But I think the biggest experience that I got was 2 things. One is my ladies' hostel friends. Oh my God, it's like we are still deep friends and very collaborative, and we look out for each other. And now, their daughters or their sons, if they're in town, we help them out. The other big thing is when I was there, we started the first English theatre workshop for the theatre group, and we put up plays which we actually got tickets, we got money for, so it was like, there was never an English theatre workshop before that. So that was like some of the strongest memories. And the reason why it sticks with me is because it gave me the courage to do things outside the norm. Because I was called a ash bush person because I used to always speak English. And but then I started connecting with people who also were similar to me in that way. So it gave me the courage to do things that a lot of people were not ready to do.
Yeah, definitely the name CET, that always holds pride. I'm sure that everybody sitting in this room is proud to say that you're a CETian, right? So wherever you go, that pride is still there, and you will always meet a CETian, across the world, wherever you stay or you settle. So definitely CET, has an important place in all our lives because we spend our good years over there. And our 90s batch was the batch who broke the ice and then started a lot of cultural programs. Let me say, we had a lot of cool in the first year, but we overcame all that, and then Priya Varghese, Aparna from architecture, Uday Rani from computer science, and myself from civil. We were like the stars for the 4 years, and I'm totally proud of it, and I'm so proud that I'm following that passion even now. Thank you, CET.
I feel so, as some says, right, it was CET is the cream of Kerala. This was reflected by a friend I was talking to yesterday as well. So, and that gave us the confidence that, to go out into the world and do anything. So I honestly, when I say everything, I have to say, I don't think the college or the teachers in the the curriculum was there. Basic computer science, operation systems, database management systems, the fundamentals, the curriculum was there, and it was up to you to absorb the content, ask questions. But I don't think the questions were answered, not by the staff anyway. But the curriculum, and you go through the exams, you absorb whatever percent of it, right? But coming out of it, the project, so whatever Google search, whatever was done. After that, when we come out, and when I joined my first firm in Chennai, I don't know how justified it was now thinking back, but I had the feeling that I was one among the best. And it is that confidence is what drives you. Half of it is in what you believe about yourself. Whether you have the content in you, whether I had the content then or not, I had the feeling that I was the best. You know, I came from the best college, one of the best colleges in Kerala, and I'm the best. That confidence has driven me, and it still continues to drive me. So that's something which I'm entirely grateful to CET for building who I am now. Some of the non-glossy things are, of course, our project group is girls, 12 girls, 3 group. So it's a professional engineering college, right? I mean, that shouldn't be the project you take up should be based on what you're interested in, not based on what the other girls are doing, not based on, okay, LHL, stay, you have to be back in by 6 o'clock, so that is more convenient. You know, that shouldn't be the basis of a project. So those, I think, the cultural restrictions did seep into how much we could. Of course, we could have, had a much fulfilling experience compared to what we got now. So, that's good.
There was a comment that Aparna ma'am wanted to make. So let's make this an engaging discussion. She wanted to, comment to one of the points you made.
I beg to differ from in one point. You were telling that we couldn't get much from the teachers of the CET. I strongly object. Even at this age, some of my teachers, they used to call me and tell some news has come in the daily or somewhere they have seen my output, and they used to come and they used to correct and they follow us. And because they know that there is some thing which they expect from us. So even other day it was our Golden Jubilee. Some of the teachers, they came just to see us, and they were telling that we were proud of you, you have done that, you have done this. So they are following. Don't say that we couldn't get much from them.
So,
I beg to differ.
Sure. So I completely agree with her now. The traditional fields, mech civil, the traditional fields had excellent professors in CET. There is no question about it, right? I myself know many of them. Coming from computer science, ours was a more nascent field. And
Computer teachers are in the
right. But see, I'm not saying all of them, right? They were good teachers. But in our batch, we had guest lecturers who had passed out like a year senior to us. So, we 2003 batch, 2002 pass out. What will they teach us about algorithm analysis or operational systems, or how much depth will they have? How deep can they go when we go to them with the questions? They are just coming back, and so that compromised, the content that we received.
So let's continue bouncing off. Let's get to the point of how has CET made you stronger, or what are the contributions from CET to you. And Sminu, I would also like you to touch off on you having studied in India and in US. How has these two countries, these two universities been different? We all hear that India is becoming less and less safe for young women. Is that true? You've been in CET, you've studied here. If you could contrast those two, that would be very insightful as well.
I was actually going for that.
Sure, go ahead.
From CET, you're proud, everybody's mentioned it. It's helped me in becoming what I am right now. But a lot of experiences, what they're saying is very interesting. Like, I had to go through all these trouble, which made me strong. And I'm thinking, why did you have to go to all the trouble in the first place?
Absolutely.
Right?
Great point.
That's the worst thing, because number it's all normal. Even from home you're listening. You have to do this, girls do this, that's normal. You go to college, you get ragged, just do what they're saying, that's normal. And then the point when it becomes not really normal is really bad, because I was affected by it, a lot of our friends by it. It's an emotional, intellectual attack, or it's kind of a traumatic experience, right? But later on you kind of get used to it, you become either strong, some people fall down. So that depends on how people take it.
But I find that different in the university here?
Definitely. So university teachers wise also, when I came here to do masters, you are treated as adults here. Like, you come to your class, you decided to study, so you decide if you want to come to class. Nobody's going to come behind you, submission attendance undo, paper undo, internals undo, no. So if you want to do something good, you can do it. And if architecture, we couldn't go after that, because 6:30 hostel roll call. And another thing, this is my experience, what I feel, it might be wrong. So men's hostel ഉണ്ട് കോളേജിൽ, ലേഡീസ് ഹോസ്റ്റൽ ഉണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, സോ മെൻ ഹോസ്റ്റലിലാണ് അവർക്ക് എന്തും ചെയ്യാം. Right? They do strikes, വെള്ളം വാട്ടർ ഇല്ലാതെ വാട്ടർ സ്ട്രൈക്ക്, അടിച്ചു പൊട്ടിക്കുന്നു and all that. So teachers couldn't control them so much. So what they did was നമുക്കായിരിക്കും കൂടുതൽ restrictions because of that.
Control
ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല.
So there is clearly double standard in the society. We all acknowledge that. So what I want to conclude this session with, since we are running out of time, is ask one question across all of the panelists as to what advice would they give to their young daughters, and not just daughters, what would you tell your sons on how to build a better world? I want to start with Ms. Latha. Hariharan here, please, on this.
So I actually would give this same advice to both my daughter and my son. One of the things is, you know, in sports we learn to be competitive, but in the real world, when you get into the business world and in life, you have to learn how to collaborate. And so collaboration and also networking and mentoring others and get mentorship. I think those are the big lessons that I would teach my daughter and my son equally.
Right. Before I come to that, I just wanted to go back. I know you are trying to race against time. But there are stories which the panelists and the people here told us personally, which has not been shared yet because of, and I think they deserve attention. One Komalavalli madam പറയുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു കുറച്ച് മുന്നേ. If you can just tell us about, ക്ലാസ്സിൽ എവിടാന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടാ, അത് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഓടിപ്പോയി. That is all cruel. It's rude. You should talk about it, ma'am. There's no point in sitting here and saying it is all. The other side also needs to be heard. No, but still, that is your experience. Why don't mind? Thank you.
Yes, that is one or two experiences which I had when I joined engineering college as a fresh girl from women's college and girls' school. When I entered the class full of boys, and our timetable, it is written 105 room number chemistry, 405 drawing, and I was not knowing what is 105, what is 400, and generally those who are entering first, they may not be knowing this, and there is nobody in the class to ask because nobody will lend their ears to me. So what I used to do was just look at some shirt somebody is wearing, and where he goes, I'll go behind him. And what they used to do, initially they never knew that I used to follow them like this. And I went with them, they used to sit in the class, I will also sit in that class, maybe in the first floor or second floor. And later they understood that I am following this trick. They went into one room, all of them were sitting there, and when the bell rings, they will just run to some other room. And poor me will be left alone there. And how I dare to ask some of them later, and why you are running like this, and why the room was not told to me. Then from my senior friends, ladies, I asked, what is this 405 and 302? So then I overcome that situation. Like that, several situations we faced at that time. And some of my friends sitting here, they may be knowing the tricks they played with me.
So that brought up a good point of, the adversities that she faced made her stronger. But the last part has caught my attention most. She went and asked her other senior friends, and the sisterhood of women helped her out. So for all of us today who attended this women's panel, thank you all. I know I would love to have longer chats with each and every one of you, but Manoj is giving me the evil eye from there. So unfortunately, we have to wind up. Everyone, can we have one big round of applause for the panel, please? Swaathi has put together a beautiful gift for each of you. Swaathi, if you could hand those out.